Triple H is ruining professional wrestling with one booked show at a time. We have no respect for that guy, and neither does MVP. Welcome back, guys, to Fog Wrestling. MVP, always controversial, always got something to say, always got somebody to moan about, and today I guess he woke up and he decided that he was going to moan about Triple H because he said he's got zero respect for the game.
The big nose, the game. Well, we've got something in common with MVP, I guess. I've got no respect for his booking as a performer. I do like Triple H, but yeah, the booking is shocker-rooney for Triple H. But you know what? You're right.
He went from being the cerebral assassin to assassinating pro wrestling.
He did.
Not great.
Yeah, and it took one shot. Didn't take one, or to 100 or 200. It took literal one. It was. I mean, I was going to say it was quick and painless. It really wasn't.
Nah, it's like he's smashing professional wrestling every single show with a sledgehammer.
It's like death by 1,000 cuts.
Yeah, every show just adds an extra cut.
Aye, like the whole.
SmackDown's 3 hours. Sometimes that adds a few cuts.
The water drip torture technique. But anyway, enough about medieval torture. Even though that's what pro wrestling is in 2025. MVP, you're right. He greets every. I mean, he never says anything good, does he?
He's very opinionated, isn't he?
Aye.
Seems to just bash people.
I know.
And Triple H is his new victim.
I wonder if he did that in the prison courtyard.
Yeah, so he was doing an interview with betideas.com, and AEW star MVP was asked about his past criticisms towards WWE Chief Content Officer Paul Triple H Levesque, and this is what MVP had to say. He said, quote, "Let's just say this. Bobby Lashley was a 2-time WWE champion, and after he took over, Bobby Lashley was reduced to the mid-card. Bobby Lashley is a bankable, marketable guy, and 2-time WWE champion. Just got reduced to mid-card, whatever. What I said specifically in response to the person on my Instagram page was that you see it. It's my opinion of how he chooses to book certain talents. Some people say all the time that, oh, MVP's just gripping. MVP's just crying. Okay, well just watch the programme. Who were the people in the top spots under his leadership? Who were given the opportunities? And I'm not talking about NXT. I'm talking about the main show. I have my opinions based on personal experiences, and at some point in my podcast and my YouTube show, I'll talk about it, and I'll go in depth about it, about what my issues with that man are. And I'll be honest with you, my issues with him have nothing to do with race. My issues with him have to do with him as a person and our personal interactions and things he said and did that caused me to have zero respect for him. But I'll get onto that on my show, marking out with MVP and Dwayne Swayze." End of quote. So MVP saying he has zero respect for Triple H, which I think's harsh. We joke about Triple H killing, well, it's not really a joke. Triple H is killing wrestling, but I still like respect Triple H for what he's done in wrestling as a competitor. I respect him for continuing the match when his quad was hanging off. You know, like, I wouldn't say I have zero respect for Triple H. I don't like the way he treated the McMahon thing and pretty much wiped his hands of him. I hate the way he books wrestling. But I wouldn't say I have zero respect for the guy, but that's what MVP's saying.
Yeah, it's a bit extreme from MVP, but like I said, yeah, in terms of booking, my respect's went out the window, but overall, Triple H, you know, we've all grew up, well, most of us have grew up watching Triple H, you know, yeah, we can the reign of terror, but Triple H has been part of some of the greatest moments in wrestling history. As a performer, greatest matches, right? Can't take it away from some great storylines. And that's as the wrestler. I mean, if you take Triple H, right, from literally like pre-2020 to like back to 95 when he debuted, fuck, I'd be like, what a guy, man, Triple H. He could potentially make my top 10. Now, though, you factor in the 5 years since then, and like you mentioned, the McMahon burial and things like that. He's obviously went down in my estimation, as is yours, but for MVP, you know, he talks about it's not a race thing. Maybe he should have just been nicer. I mean, listen to the way he speaks about McMahon. McMahon's the guy that gave Bobby Lashley these titles, the WWE title. And he's also, I mean, I think the funny thing is he's bashing Triple H for saying that he took him from the main event to the mid card. Well, Tony Khan's had an opportunity to take him from the mid card into the main event, and we can sit here and bang up the AEW tag titles as much as we want, but tag title division's not main event.
True, but I think there is a difference. Like Bobby Lashley, it's not like he came into AEW at the top and then got sent into the mid card. You could argue that maybe Tony Khan wants to build him up and have him earn the world title picture. Bobby Lashley was a main event guy. Bobby Lashley just recently held the world championship, the WWE championship. Triple H takes over, and all of a sudden he's in some shite mid-card faction with the Street Profits.
Make no mistake about it, right? Obviously, what Triple H done's worse than what Khan did, but Bobby Lashley, like Sting, not that Bobby Lashley's anywhere near the level of Sting, but they're getting old, right? They're already the established guy. I see this whole, he needs to give it time. Everyone complains about how bad Moxley's reigns turned out to be, and this and that. And maybe it's not ideal if 49, 50-year-old Bobby Lashley comes in and dethrones John Moxley, right? Where's that lead for the future?
Yeah, people would bash Khan if he'd done that.
No, they would.
Although I do think Bobby Lashley should be AEW World Champion at some point in his career. I mean, maybe they're building towards it.
I think it's better if Lashley dethroned Moxley and then you gave it to like an up-and-comer to beat Lashley.
Yep.
I think that might be the best way of doing it. Honestly, I'm not saying like no one can benefit for beating Moxley, but I just feel like the reign is that tired and that drawn out. It's not really going to matter who does it as long as it's done.
Yeah, well, MVP's came out before and he says that he doesn't believe that Triple H is a racist, but he did say that Triple H doesn't know how to book other races and doesn't know how to book black people.
So is he ignorant? Is he not willing to open his eyes?
Why are we pretending that black people are some like different species?
Yeah,
you could book Brock Lesnar and Bobby Lashley the same. They're two killers. You know, they're two fucking monsters.
So is MVP saying that Triple H should book like McMahon, where McMahon booked very stereotypically?
Well, that's almost what it would seem like.
It's almost what he's hinting at. You know, you're Eastern European, you have to be the bad guy.
Vince Russo used to come out with that shit and say, how can I book a black guy? I've never had his experiences. I've never lived being black. I've never been brought up in black neighbourhoods. Honestly, man, I think that's a retarded way to look at things.
Yes.
Who cares? Someone got brought up in a black neighbourhood or an Italian neighbourhood. You know, or like a Mexican neighbour, a Latino like what? Who gives a shit? Like at the end of the day, I mean, they're still people. They're still human beings. Like I mean,
it's like movies and TV shows, right? You get actors of different colours and whatever all the time, man. See Carl Weathers, right, playing Apollo Creed, or you know, what's his name in Predator?
Well, Well, if you look at Predator,
where he grew up, fucking doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what it doesn't. All it matters is he's that cat. You write that character. You don't write about where he grew up.
Yeah,
Dylan, son of a bitch. I remember you had no money when you were 8 years old. Some good shit.
I mean, their characters are both like fucking, like guys in the like army or whatnot. You know, they're both like sergeants or whatever they were. It's like the one it didn't matter their skin color.
Yep. Yo, it's like Vince Russo, but I mean, Vince Russo created guys like porn stars, pimps. I'm sure Vince Russo didn't know many of them. He still fucking created the characters.
Like, if you look at Lethal Weapon, you got Murdoch and Briggs. Are you telling me that, here, you can't actually have a writer? Someone can't actually produce and write. You can't have a head writer for Lethal Weapon. You need two head writers because one guy needs to write all the Briggs stuff and the other guy needs to write all the Murdoch stuff because one's black and one's white.
And also, TV shows and movies are way deeper than WWE. WWE's just wrestlers, man, at the end of the day.
Yeah, I've never understood that logic, man.
I see, it's different with movies. Like, if you're writing a World War II movie, I think it does help if you've got, like, historians on board. They make things historically accurate. With WWE, I just don't get it.
You know, I think that's a cop-out for MVP. What I truly believe is he wants to call Triple H racist, but at the same time he's holding back. He'll call Hogan racist because he knows everyone's going to agree with him.
Call McMahon, whatever.
And it's not going to be that controversial. If MVP calls out Hogan or McMahon for being racist, he knows that a lot of the wrestling fans will just be sheep and agree with him. But I think MVP knows that if he calls out Triple H for being, even though there is a few people out there that say that he is, I think that he knows that will come back negative. That will have like a negative feedback on him. So therefore, instead of him saying that Triple H is racist, I think he just comes out with the whole Triple H doesn't know how to book for black people shit, which I think's pathetic.
I think it's bad publicity for AEW if he calls it Triple H and says it, but if he says it about Hogan and Vince McMahon,
but Tony Khan's banned Hogan for AEW, so that's
that's some good shit, pal.
Listen, like MVP said he's going to go into deep depth about it. Well, please do.
I will be there.
We'll be there. We'll be waiting. We'll be waiting for the deep dive MVP. But for now, he's got zero respect for Triple H, basically because of the kind of person he is and his personal interactions with him. I mean, a lot of people have had negative shit with Triple H, to be honest, if they're basing it on, Triple H as a human being and him burying people and some of his backstage politics and shit like that.
Who are the guys that have suffered the most from when Triple H came in the main event scene? Like Bobby Lashley. From that, 22-23 period.
Ooh.
I mean, you'd have to say that Bobby Lashley is off the top of my head.
Austin Theory?
Yeah, but he wasn't main event though.
No, but I mean, he was kind of like main eventing on Raw, wasn't he? Remember him, Lashley, and Seth Rollins were competing for the top title on Raw?
It could just be a coincidence that Theory and Bobby Lashley and Goldberg were McMahon kind of guys.
Apollo Crews? No, it wasn't main event. But where the fuck's... Where's Almost went?
Well, that's a McMahon guy.
Where's Almost went?
They brought him back from, I can't remember what it was, but somewhere in some place he was wrestling.
Japan.
They
did have some crazy record where a black guy's not won in a premium live event in over 2 years.
Oh, no, WWE?
Aye. In 2 years or some shit.
Aye, they didn't have singles matches?
The entire Triple H era.
Huh.
Anyway.
Coinky dinky or what?
MVP won't say it, we might. We will, bro. But we're not ready to.
Coincidence, a wee coinky dink.
We're not ready to sentence Triple H to that word yet.
Nope.
No.
But he is a big
Are you ready? Are you racist? I'll have to wait and see. The jury's out. But MVP, no respect, zero respect for Paul Triple H Levesque, and you know what? Based on the booking of these SmackDown and Raw shows, I don't blame him. That's it, guys. We'll catch you in the next one. Until then, MVP. We'll be back later. MVP has. He's said that Hogan, spoiler alert, Hogan should be disqualified for Mount Rushmore. We'll give our opinions on that later because you know what?
He's whipped out the black flag. He's disqualified him.
Well, I'll no wave out the white flag. I'll be defending Hogan later.
It'll be the checkered flag.
You know what, man? There would be no fucking wrestlers to put on Mount Rushmore if it wasn't for Hogan. So MVP needs to, sit down and reel it fucking in. You know what I mean? Anyway, guys, that's it. Till next time. Peace.